Modern maps of the United States show 50 states, but in the early 1900s, there was a voter-approved plan for a 51st state sitting right in the center of the country, a proposed territory called Sequoyah. The geography of this region was defined by a strict legal partition. To the west lay Oklahoma Territory, to the east, Indian Territory. The western half was a federally managed region that had been open to rapid settlement through a series of land runs. During these events, tens of thousands of settlers raced on horseback and in wagons to claim plots of land in a single day, populating the territory at a speed the federal government struggled to manage. The eastern half, Indian Territory, was different. It was the destination of the Trail of Tears and was governed autonomously by the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole nations. By 1905, the growth of the western settlements placed immediate pressure on the eastern tribes. Tribal leaders recognized that if they did not establish their own state government, their sovereignty would likely be absorbed by the expanding Western Territory. To protect their borders, tribal leaders convened in Muskogee in 1905 to design their own path to statehood. Over the course of the convention, delegates drafted a progressive constitution, mapped out dozens of internal counties, and elected representatives to present their case to Washington. Residents of Indian Territory voted on the proposal in a general referendum, and the yes vote won by a significant margin. The leaders had produced a complete, legally vetted blueprint for a native majority state, ready for immediate admission to the Union. Sequoyah's representatives traveled to Washington, D.C. to formally petition Congress for statehood. President Theodore Roosevelt and the United States Congress swiftly rejected the statehood petition. Federal policy at the time favored a single, unified state, rather than a separate native-led government. Washington's goal was to merge the two territories into one entity. Sequoyah Convention strategists like William H. Murray and Charles N. Haskell saw that a standalone state was no longer a viable option in the eyes of Congress. Instead of ending their efforts, they pivoted. They shifted their focus to the inevitable Joint Statehood Convention, intending to influence the laws of the new combined state from the inside. In 1906, the federal government took control of the process by passing the Enabling Act. This law mandated the merger of the two territories and required them to draft a single joint constitution for the proposed state of Oklahoma. Delegates from both the East and the West were brought together in a single convention to determine how the new government would function. While the Western delegates arrived as a fractured group, Murray, Haskell, and the Eastern representatives arrived as a unified bloc, drawing on their recent experience from the Sequoyah Convention. The Enabling Act was intended to facilitate a federal vision for the region. However, the requirement for a joint convention provided the Sequoyah delegates with a direct path to introduce their existing political framework into the new state. During the drafting process, Murray and Haskell introduced the text of the rejected Sequoyah Constitution as the primary template for the new state. Large sections of the prior work, including specific laws, governmental structures, and county map lines, were transferred directly into the document that would govern the combined state. On November 16, 1907, President Roosevelt signed the proclamation admitting Oklahoma as the 46th state. Sequoyah never received a star on the American flag. While Washington denied the petition for a separate native state, much of Sequoyah's original design survived the merger, serving as the legal foundation for the state of Oklahoma at its inception.